Okay, so first off, we had to choose a company, and I have chosen Philip Morris, which is a cigarette producing company. They produce their product, which makes them a production company. They then sell it off to wholesalers, which then sells it off to retailers. Some fixed and variable costs for the company. We're starting off with the fixed is the wages, rent, electricity, tools, machinery, and advertisement. Variable costs could be shipping, raw materials, and travel expenses. And to describe the turnover is the total amount of money a company makes before expenses. So no taxes and no nothing. Here we can see from 2011 through 2015 what the earnings of Philip Morris was. And you can see from 2014 to 2015 they have decreased with almost $7 billion. Then describe the contribution margin and the use of it, and the contribution margin per unit together with the total method and what we use it for. I have chosen to do it in the Excel arc where all the numbers are relative. I did not take them from Philip Morris website, I just came up with them. I have put a sales price at 20 kroners per unit, where the sales volume amounts from 0 to 50,000, and the variable costs are increasing together with the sales volume. Then the variable cost per unit, I took the total variable cost, and divided it by the sales volume. And for the turnover, I took the sales volume and then timed it by the sales price. And then to calculate the total contribution margin, I took the turnover minus the variable cost so we can see what they earn, which then is the total contribution margin of all the sales volume. Then there's the total contribution margin per unit, which is the total contribution margin divided by sales volume. So we have for one single unit they earn 4 kroners. Then I went off and used the differential contribution method. First off, I found the differential turnover, which is 20 all the way down. I have done this by taking the turnover, minusing it by the previous, and the same with the sales volume, and then divided the two. And for the cost, I then just took the variable cost, minus it with the previous, and then divided by the sales volume. Then finally, I took the differential turnover and subtracted the differential cost, which gave us the differential contribution margin. And as you can see, the line I've marked green is where it is the optimum sales volume and price. So you can see here it goes from 1.6 to -2, which is where they should stop producing. And if we look at the total contribution margin, you can see it is 160,000 here, where it is only 140,000 here. And the unit goes from 4 to 2.8, which is all decreasing in the last part. So it is the optimum sales price is 40,000. The optimal sales volume is 40,000. Then you can see there's a difference between these three numbers here. They are not the same, of course, but they basically show us the same, which is the optimum sales volume. Because as I mentioned before, it is decreasing here in the last part. Then to the break-even concept, there is explain why it is vital for a company to focus on break-even, and explain what it is break-even. I think it's vital because if you do not break even or make your turnover match the costs, you're gonna lose money, and you're not gonna be able to cover certain expenses. So you have to adapt your selling price and sales volume to cover these expenses. And then the difference between break-even turnover and advertisement break-even. Break-even turnover is how many units a company has to sell to even out like expenses, and so they can adapt their sales volume to make sure that they are able to cover the expenses. And for advertisement, it is advertisement break-even. You have to calculate the amount of units they have to sell extra to cover a certain advertisement. So let's say they use 100,000 on a product on an advertisement, then they have to sell a certain amount of units to determine to cover the expenses. Last off is the contribution ratio. I have calculated it here. It is the contribution ratio is the contribution margin in percentage of the turnover, and we do that by taking the total contribution margin, then multiplying it by 100, and then finally dividing it by the turnover. And then we have 20%.